Think you can't create a watercolor landscape? Well, think again, friends. I'm not a watercolor artist, not even a painter by a long stretch, but I do know how to have fun with ink smooshing. So this easy, no-stress technique creates gorgeous watercolor style backgrounds, no paintbrushes required. Today I'll show you exactly how to turn a few drops of ink into something magical. So let's get started. Let me switch to my camera. Here we go. Hello everybody, hi friends. So yeah, we're gonna make this card. If you've watched my videos, I'm always so nervous when I come on because I never know if what I'm intending on doing is gonna work. So we're just gonna switch down to the desk camera and we're gonna get started. We're just gonna see how it goes. So this is my practice card I did the other day and I like the way it came out. I'm gonna try to do it again. Last week's live, it did not go as planned, but it ended up looking fine. So I'm going to bring in this media mat, and I think this is from Ranger. I've had it for a long time, and what I like about it is, I'm not sure if you can see, it's got some texture to it, and so that's going to help add to our background. I'm going to bring the card back in. You can kind of see these little mottled areas. That's from the mat. So I just used two colors and smushed them down on the mat and created this background. Looks like sky and grass. And yes, Geraldine Rose, you are right. Mine are happy accidents too. And surprisingly, you know, I use them. They work out just fine. So we're going to create the sky and the grass now. So I am using Blue Sky. These are all Gina K inks. I have some other inks, but I have mostly her inks. So we're going to use Blue Sky and Grass Green. How appropriate, right? For the sky and the grass. And what I'm going to do is just take my ink pad and I'm going to get a good amount of ink across the top. Okay? Just smush it down. It does seem like a lot of ink though. Then we're going to do the grass green and we're going to do the same towards the bottom. Now, I'm hoping I didn't put too much ink, but we're going to see. Then I'm going to grab my cardstock. I am using 65-pound weight cardstock. So, you know, it's not watercolor cardstock, but I'm going to just spritz some water on here. And then I just want to lay the card down, the cardstock down, and I'm just going to give it a good press. We'll see what happens. And that came out okay. I would have kind of liked the sky to be a little bit darker, but I'm going to let it go because we will crop this. We will definitely crop this. So I think that's going to work out just fine. So let that go, and then we're going to just clean this off. So I'm getting a little bit messy. I normally don't do messy cards, but I like them. I love watching the videos where you guys do all the things. You got pace going, and I love it. So, and I have all that stuff. I just need to start using them, right? All right, so we're going to let this set aside and dry just a little bit. And actually, before we let it dry, one more thing. I want to go ahead and I'm going to use Blue Lagoon. I'm going to put a little bit of that down. I want to do some ink splats on this. And then we'll just take a little paintbrush. I said no paintbrush is required, but this is an optional step. And I'm just going to splatter some blue ink splats all across, just like that. Okay. Now we will set it aside to dry. Hope everybody's having a good evening. All right, so I think we're done with those three colors. Let me just set them aside. And then we're going to go ahead and die cut our leaves. I want to show you, I got this not long ago. This is from Gina K, and it's a 3D embossing folder with a cutting die, and it's called Serene Branches. And when I first got this, I wasn't quite sure how to use the die, but I watched her video, and the way she explained it is you cut the cut the die first, right? Thanks, Geraldine. I know this thing is a workhorse, but you cut the die first, and then you run it through the embossing folder to get the details. So I turned my lights around in another direction to hopefully you can see the detail there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and die cut these leaves out of white cardstock. Let me pull out just a little bit. And these actually came out really, really well. So let me grab some white cardstock. Here we go. And we are going to cut out, I'm only going to cut out one because I did these ahead of time, and I'm going to use the ones that I did ahead of time, but I'm going to show you the process. So we'll just do it once here tonight. Oops. And be careful. This one is delicate. So you get this beautiful leaf and branches, and then you do have to poke out a couple little pieces here. And then that's what you're left with. Okay. And on the samples that I'm going to use, I cut these out. I cut it out 2 times, and then I glued them together just to make sure, just to give it a little bit of sturdiness. But for right now, we're just gonna do the one, because you'll get the gist here what I'm doing. Then, yes. And so then I'm going to get some color on these leaves, and then we're going to run it back through the embossing folder to get the detail. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use these 3 colors. I'm going to do, what do I have here? Wild Dandelion, Tangerine Twist, and Medium Spruce. I'm going to do that one last. I want to go in with the yellow first, and we'll just go ahead and put some yellow down, and we'll add some water to it. And what's really nice about this is you can put as much or as little ink down as you want. And I do want to leave a little bit of white space, so I'm just going to do that, just a little bit, and then wipe that up. And then we'll go ahead in with the Tangerine Twist. This was a lot of fun. I'm just going to put a little bit of orange on here just to get, and you can see the color is building up. Kind of looks brown, but it really is yellow and orange. There you go. I think I need to watch some video tips on lighting. I have moved my lights around in this little room so much. I've had them on either side of me. Right now they're in front of me, but I think the lights are just bouncing off the walls. Okay, so now I'm going in with the medium spruce, and here I'm just going to put a little bit. I kind of want to go into the kind of where the stem is, and maybe the center of where the leaves connect to the stem. I'll show you here in a minute. And then there you get this beautiful multicolored leaves. Oh yeah, I think lighting, I thought the sound audio was going to be the hardest when I set up my craft studio, but honestly, I'm having the lighting. The lighting is the issue for me. Or I guess I feel like I have good lighting. It's just like when I hold a card up to the camera, you know, trying to get it away from the bright light so you guys can see it. Okay, so this is pretty wet because we've added a lot of moisture to it. So what I did in my sample is I let this dry, and then I ran it back through the embossing folder. So to do that, all I did was I found the side of the folder that has the dip. Like I call this the mountain and the valley. So this is the raised side, this is the debossed side. And you put it in upside down on this particular folder, and you just kind of nestle it in. You can tape it. I did not, because I felt like it was pretty fragile with the moisture, and I just kind of lined it up as best as I could. And then I just closed the folder. I'm going to go ahead and run it through and see what happens. It might fall apart. It might just all disintegrate because there's a lot of moisture in here, but it's okay if it does, because I have the real pieces ready to go off to the side. So let's just put it through and see what happens. Well, I don't need all those. I don't even think I need that. I'm curious, what kind of embossing folders do you all have? I've had this Sizzix Big Shot for a long time, a few years. It was the first one that I bought. It's the only one that I have. Oh, there we go. But I just don't feel like, I mean, I would love to get a couple of the other ones on the market, but I don't know, this one works. So I'm trying to really use what I have and not get all spendy, and then the stuff just sits here. So, whoops, it didn't break. How about that? All right, let's see if we can get the lighting. Geraldine, really? You have all of those die cutting and embossing machines? Wow. Hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining. All right, so here, maybe if I go closer, you can see the detail in the leaves. And then what I did, and I'm not going to do it tonight because that'll just take up way too much time. So I did 2 of these, and then I cut out another white piece, and then another piece out of black cardstock. And then I glued those together in an offset fashion, and let me show you what they look like. So these are the ones I did the other day. So this one has a black shadow layer, and I just kind of glued it down offset. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. And then this one has the white additional layer, and I did not do it offset. It's just stacked right on top of it. So those are the 2 I'm going to use on my card today because they're ready to go and they're dry. Absolutely no moisture in those. So I really like how they came out. Okay, so let's bring it back the panel. And what I am going to do here is I need to make some room. I think I'm done with this. I'm done with that. And I'm going to die cut this panel down, and I'm going to be using, big surprise, GinaKDesigns Master Layouts 18. I really wanted to use this frame die, and it has a really nice stitched border. So we're going to cut that out with that. And then I did the shadow layer already with this this plain die in here, and I did a black shadow layer. So let's go ahead and get this die cut because it's going to cut out 2 pieces. It's going to do the frame and it's going to do the center. And I really love this. I really like this die. I just got it recently and I'm using it a lot. Hey to everybody coming in. Other coast in British Columbia? Wow. You know, I love our Canadian friends. I have some friends that live up in Quebec. I've never been up there though. But the pictures look absolutely stunning. So here was that ink smushed panel. We just did blue ink, green ink, smushed it down, added some water, and then put our cardstock on it. And we're making the illusion of a sky and ground or grass. And now I'm going to just position this to capture most of that. See what we get here. Let's get back to this little guy here. Okay. Okay, so this cut out the piece from the middle, kind of fell out, and it has a nice stitched border. I don't like the way these lights are set up. Can you tell? I have a big old light glaring in my face, and I don't like it. I'll have to change it for next time. And then we're gonna pop out the frame. Normally I smash this down on the desk, but I have this new microphone and it picks up everything. It will be too loud if I do that. Okay. So we have this frame and it came out pretty good. Oh, a little piece that didn't quite cut very well. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and win that fight there. I'm going to just snip it off. And then with this centerpiece, I am going to put this on the matte layer. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and glue this down. And put that down. I'm just eyeballing it, trying not to get my head in the way. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my card base. Now this is 110 pound side folding, and I've already stamped it with my logo there. And just making sure that I have everything the right way. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and glue the frame down. Oh yes. Okay, so I do, Geraldine Rose put in the comments about the lights. Yes, it is so hot. I have my AC down to 66. I have these two lights on me. I am roasting and I have a fan going. So I don't know if it's the nerves of recording. I don't feel nervous because, you know, it is what it is, but it's hot. I'm on the second floor and it is hot up here. Yeah, the lights are supposed to be cool, but they're not. All right, so what I did on my sample is I popped this up. I'm gonna bring the sample in. So I just popped up the center panel with just this generic foam adhesive tape, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of that down. And I don't even know where I got this, but I need to invest in some good foam tape. And I heard Altenew has some good foam tape. This, I don't know. It's not gumming up these scissors, which is good. But these scissors are Teflon coated, so they're not supposed to get gummy. But I do need to get some good foam tape. Sweating. Yeah, I don't know how to avoid sweating. My neck is sweaty, and I had my hair down all day today, and then 5 minutes before the live I had to get it off of my neck. So maybe subconsciously, I don't know. It's card making, right? It should be happy. We shouldn't be sweating over it. This isn't hard labor, but you know, when you're live, you never know how it's gonna go, right? All right, so then I'm just gonna eyeball this so it's kind of floating, kind of like an eclipse card, which I really love those. And that's what we have so far. So can you see how this is creating like a landscape effect? Because if you ever like look at an impressionist painting, your brain, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your brain will make up the difference. So your brain knows, oh, that's a sky and that's a field. All right, it works, right? And then, so that's the die cutting. And then I used the stamp set I used for the greeting, and I already cut this out ahead of time just to save time, was from Thankful and Blessed from Gina K. And I used the So Very Grateful. And I stamped that on white cardstock with black ink, and we'll use that for the card. So coming together, we just decide where we want to put the leaves. Now on my sample card, I only had one. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Foam tape. Simonsayssstamp's Big Mama. Altenew. Altenew does gum up. Okay. I have heard, I think Kathy Zilski has used the Big Mama foam tape. I've heard her reference that. And she actually she's very gracious if you email her. She does give out her email, and I had a lot of questions before I started about setup and things, and she was pretty gracious and kind of pointed me in some directions. She didn't tell me exactly what I needed to do. I had to learn all that on my own, and but she answered some questions, and she always got back with me, so I really appreciated that. All right, so I really like the leaves with the shadow, with the black shadow. And I was thinking about maybe doing both. Or is that too much? Is it less is more, one or two? What do you guys think? And then I would put the greeting somewhere. I usually do the right side, but I would have to probably go left here. And then I'm gonna put some bling on it too. So, you know, something like that maybe, or just one leaf and that there. Kind of like that. It's good as it drops the other farther back in sight perspective. Not sure I'm following that. It drops the other farther back. So maybe, are you meaning two of them or one? That's kind of cool. I'll have to make sure the leaves are kind of in the boundaries. Maybe like that. One leaf. I know. I really like the black leaf like that. And I think I'm going to do that. It has enough going on, I think, too. All right. I'm going to do one leaf and just that, because that'll give me some room to put some bling. Okay. And I normally don't do that, but I am trying. Whoop. I'm trying to just do more things that I normally don't do, right? I have all the stuff, like I said, I have it all. Need to start using it. All right, so I'm just going to put this down and make sure it's not going outside the boundaries. I might put some foam tape up underneath here, or just like foam squares just to support that, but I will do that later. And then we'll go ahead and put the greeting down. This was a very easy card to make. Simple, simple. Where do I want this? I'm going to put it on these leaves. I'm going to put it right up here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my little bird dish. And these are the only black embellishments that I have, and these are from Gina K. I'm gonna have to tag her on this video. Should I tag her? Is that kind of weird? I don't know. She probably gets enough notifications. But anyway, these are the only black embellishments that I have, and they just happen to be hers. So I'm just gonna put a few of these out. I like the small ones. What do you guys think? Do you guys tag the larger craft people in the industry when you use their products or the product lines? Put a couple up here. That one's upside down. This is where I struggle. This is probably why I don't use embellishments. But I'm gonna overcome it. I am. I'm gonna use a large one up here. I like that. Okay. Okay, here goes. This I can do. I can glue and pick up an embellishment. I'll reserve the booping for Kathy Z. And that's the last one. And wow, that's good to know, Jessica. You always tag Christina Werner. I love her channel and I love her products. I need to really invest in some of hers. Her stamps are beautiful. Yeah. All right, you guys, there's the finished card. What do you think? That's a watercolor landscape in my eyes, and with a big old branch coming in and little embellishments, and so very grateful. So it kind of goes in line with the gratitude hop, right? All right, well, I want to thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you being here. I do this video live every Wednesday night, Lord willing. And then on Sundays, I have a scheduled video. So, again, thank you for joining. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And until we meet again, have a great evening and rest of your week. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.